Welcome back to Mindful Traders video. This is daily trade recap for August 31st, 2020, last day of August. I'll be going over the moves that happened in GBP JPY and GBP CAD for the day, and we'll also be looking at where we are in the analysis. Okay, cool. So let me just remove these. We saw that we had a lower time frame support formed here. We saw wicks here, right? This price activity here. So and then in pre-London, we also had this massive wick here, right? So usually when something like that happens, pre-London pulls up to it, grabs liquidity, and we move down if that's what the planned move is, right? What we saw was initial, and then this was right at 140, okay, 141. So we saw a move, and now we're approaching pre-London. We rejected it once before pre-London, approached pre-London, right after London open, we tap into here. Okay, I took a sell exactly at 140.978, right? But I knew there was a bank holiday, so we weren't going to do a large move, and I got my 20 pips and I closed down here. Why did I do that? Because this area right here, right? It's unlikely that we're going to break it since we are moving up. I was hoping for a further pullback like my analysis said, to 139.8 or even 139.5 monthly level for liquidity, but we didn't get that. And instead what happened was price, after I closed right at the bottom, 7.8 I closed, and it reversed from 7.37. So after I closed, price bottomed out, right, created another higher low, high, and then what we saw was price broke this level, right here, broke it, retested it once, and then made a high. So now we have a high at 141.3, right? This is pre-New York open. So right in pre-New York, and then after New York open, we come back down for liquidity. Retest that exact same level at 141, the previous levels that were rejected here, right? Retest that same level at 141, find support, and then we start continuing up. Now we create a new high, New York volume pushing it, another liquidity, another higher low formed, and then we reach our first key level at 141.5. Why do we have that? We have that because that's where previously price made a new intraday high, right? So that's what your buy range was. If you saw price doing something like this, your target would have been 141, right? And that's exactly what happened. Price started doing this, pre-New York set up for buys right after New York open as well, and then New York volume pushed it up, right? So that's what the essentially best trade was. That's what it was. You could have either entered here or here. If you entered here and you said to break even, you would have gone stopped out. But entering here, and this would have been your 47 pips, 10 pip stop loss, right? And that's perfect, right below market structure. And that would have been the trade of the day. So let's look at how lower time frame acted there, right? So you're even 1 minute showing you everything you need to know, okay? We tested this once, 2, 3 times, okay? Kept creating higher lows as well. So you knew that when this started happening, it was likely that it's gonna pop up. Popped up, broke, retest, 1 minute, created a high, came back down, retested again, found support. That's enough confirmation, honestly, right here, that you can enter buy, higher low again, higher low, create a new high, 140.1.5, okay? So, and then we saw that price did in fact push up and it found resistance right at 142.0. Crazy how these numbers work, huh? So it found resistance there, and then it's a bank holiday, not enough volume to push down, rejected it. If you were in buys and you saw this happening at a round number, you know it's time to get the fuck out, okay? Price made a lower high in 1 minute, and then now we're back below 141, right? Essentially what I was hoping for was a pullback down. Since it is a new monthly candle, we haven't had a proper pullback. But let me just move this. If higher time frame can't stay below, if higher time frame stays below 141, I'm sure we can get a pullback. But if we do break it, then we can continue up to our target, which is first target would be 143.5, and then once that gives way due to this, 144.5, right? So we're just gonna have to be watching that and monitoring it. But right now, you see in intraday, we had a previous high, right, on Friday, created a higher low, and then now we've created a new intraday high. So what's next? Create a higher low, maybe come back down to 141, find support here, do something like this, continue up, or maybe even pull back further down. And who knows, we might even get a deeper pullback before continuing up. So these are just the levels I'm watching for, right? Something like this, and then this important monthly, weekly level here. Just watch and see how price reacts to those. And otherwise, daily, if daily can stay above 141.5, then we can easily continue up. Otherwise, you might get a pullback down, deeper pullback before continuing up. Because you see, every time we make a high, we get a pullback or a higher low being made, right? We made a high, then we consolidated for a bit, retested a market structure, and continued up. So now, when something like this happens, and then we continue up, right? Makes sense, no? Because it is the start of a new month, and why continue up from here when price can pull back down, set up for better buys, and then continue up? So just play these ranges, right? Just play through the levels, and just be logical, right? Don't be selling when there's immense buying pressure, okay? Don't be selling at here when you know where you have New York volume and price is most likely going to keep breaking it, all right? Be logical, be sensible. This was perfect. Buys up till here. Best move of the day. Hold a runner. Runner would have gone an extra 50 pips. So that's pretty cool. That's where we're at in the analysis. That's GBP JPY. Let's look at GBP CAD. GBP CAD, I expected a pull down. So I expected a pull down. Once we broke this level, I said we were going to go down to here. And then maybe we were going to set up for further buys, create a higher low, because that's what we needed, right? So I said possible pullback to either this level. We got that. And if this level broke, then we'd go back to the next level, okay? May see a deep price to a deep pullback to daily support plus trend line before continuing up, right? Since we are making bullish intraday structure. So let's see what happened. Wow, followed analysis exactly. Oops. So we had the low, higher lows, right? And then would you look at that fourth higher low, right? So if we have the trend line, although we didn't tap it exactly, like let me show you what happened in, I'm just going to remove this. We'll just look at what happened in pre-London. Okay, cool. So saw that price, this was on Friday before market close. Price started consolidating at this key level that we had, right? Key level right there. Started consolidating, and now it starts continuing down. So when price does this after a large impulsive move, it's most likely going to correct most of it, grab liquidity, correct most of it, and that's exactly what happened. At London Open, we got the strong candle closing below support, right? And then look at the wick on this. Perfect retest. How do we know something like that was going to happen? Look at here. Same price behavior here. We weren't able to break it. A little price activity, and then we broke it, right? Broke it, retested, and then continued down to this level, right? So let me show you how that looked in the lower time frames. 1 minute was super clean on this. So you see we broke it, right? That's a confirmation. 3:15 candle closes, and then wow. So you see what price is doing, right? Price is making these lower highs, lower lows, right? Slowly ranging, and then boom, we get, that's your previous high. Now we get a low made here, right? And then what you saw was 1 minute time frame retest this level exactly, right? That's your lower high now. Entries here would have been perfect because you know this level is broken. Retest, and we move down straight to the bottom level. Wow, how many pips is that? That's at least 50 pips. 50 pips, and your risk you could have kept above this high, right? 13 pips, 1.41 risk reward. So GBP CAD did that, right? And we expected that because we knew that once this level broke, we were gonna come down here, right? So there's your 50 pips right there. That's all we need. And then And then what our analysis said is to watch out for pullback, and then we'll see if it creates a higher low before continuing up. So price initially rejected it at 5:30 a.m. Did a move up around from bottom here, 40 pips, not enough order flow to keep continuing up, came back down. 9:30 was still a deeper pullback, but price was still closing above this level, right? Closing above this key level, like you see here, these candles closing below it, these candles closing below it until we broke up. Price activity here, candle closing below it here, candles retesting it here, right? So historical level, price closed below, and then straight buys up to here, another 50 pips. So when we're looking at in the lower time frame, first, initially you could have caught this test and then higher low and then moved up, right? That's still 40 pips. It's a lot. Otherwise, once you saw, let's say you weren't even looking at it through this garbage, right? If you saw price come back above this support, right, then this is your low. Then you see price create a higher low, and then you see price create another higher low. So now you're like, okay, it's possible that we move straight back up to this level. Exactly what happened. Move straight back up to here, found resistance, and that was the end of that move. So GBP CAD was honestly cleaner than GJ. This was my favorite move of the day. I didn't catch it because I was occupied with GJ, but a reminder to myself to just, regardless of that, just execute on this too. But yeah, retest and then straight move down to the next level. Low, higher low, move up to the next level, right? Initially, what we can be watching out for now is, okay, we're going to be seeing how price reacts here. Because now remember, we're under this market structure. 4 hour officially broke it. To continue up, we're going to have to do something like this, right? Retest and then buy here. This is still 50 pips. Otherwise, if we do see some activity like this and we break this, then we can count for further sells. But just following what market structure is showing us, we would have to wait for this level to break to buy, or if we reject here again, right? Otherwise, this was your high, this was a new low. To move up, we're still following like intraday structure. If price respects this low, and we do continue up, then it could count for further buys. Let's say lower during London, and we continue up. And like I said in the analysis, this level right here, this key level would have to break before we continue up further to our weekly level, to our daily level right here, and then the weekly level up here, which will be the final leg to this. So we're going to have to watching out and see how price is forming in intraday, if we're creating higher lows or lower highs, right? Bearish, bullish market structure. But those are the moves for the day. This was the cleanest. Should have taken this easy 50 pips within 3:15 to 5:30. 2 hours, 50 pips. It's a lot. Yeah, and then price is below this right now. But that's just for the day. We're still below the market structure. Just be logical, like I said. Follow key levels. Don't anticipate. Just wait and see what price is telling you, right? Because right now, let's say we do get something like this. You don't want to just blindly buy in case price does something like this, right? You want to have confirms that price is consolidating. Yeah, it's a retest, and then we go up, right? So don't blindly just buy and sell at these key levels. Wait for price to provide you the information and execute accordingly. So these are still the analysis standing. I'm going to be using them for the week, right? Main targets are still labeled out. I will be following GJ as it goes through these key levels, and same with GBP CAD. But yeah, that's about it. Quick recap, GBP CAD and GBP JPY, and that's it for the day.